Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Mal and I make Tumbler tutorials here on YouTube. I'm so happy that you found our channel and I really hope that you enjoy the videos. In today's tutorial, we're doing another peekaboo tumbler, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. If you saw my peekaboo pencil tumbler a couple videos ago, then you'll be familiar with this technique, but I wanted to do it with this gorgeous sunflower pattern vinyl that I got from Gracefully Created recently. I fell in love with it and I was like, I gotta use this right now. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I really hope that you like the video. If you do, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of my new videos. I've got a ton of info down in the description box for you, so be sure to check that out. I'll have all of the products I'm using in this video linked down there along with some discount codes, and I'll also have all of my social media pages, including my Facebook group and Patreon group down there as well, so make sure you check that out if you want to know any of that info. Okay, I think that's it. I really hope you like the video. Let's go! We're going to be using a 20-ounce stubby from Craft Haven. We're going to start by base painting it. I'm using lemongrass from Rust-Oleum. So there's my paint job. You can tell it's not perfect, but that's okay because we're going to glitter our cup. So I've got in this cup some glitter glue from Crystalac. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then I'm also going to take some spicy mustard Flippin' Awesome paint from Crystalac and add that in there too, just for a little bit of extra coverage. You can use whatever adhesive and color combo you want. If you prefer to use Mod Podge, that's fine. If you like epoxy method, use whatever application method you like for your glitter. So here is a custom sunflower glitter mix that I put together. The recipe is up on the screen now, so if you want to copy this glitter and remake it for yourself, you can. So once I've got that mixed up, I'm going to take the glitter glue and paint mixture, and I'm using a makeup brush from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to brush this on my cup, making sure I've got a thin, even coat. Don't forget the bottom. And once I've got that on, I'm going to go in with this glitter mix. Look at that. I was really proud of this one. I thought it looked really accurate to like the color of a sunflower that you would think of. So I'm going to cover the entire surface of my cup, including the bottom, with this glitter, and then I'm going to set it aside and let it dry for a full 2 hours at least. That's the only downside to the glitter glue, is that it takes a long time to dry. But there's the glitter. So once it was dry, I tapped off any excess with my scissors, made sure that all my glitter was lying flat, and then I did take the same glitter glue and go in and seal my glitter. You guys know I like to do this before epoxy. I feel like it just helps me use less epoxy, everything goes on a little bit smoother, and just makes the process a little bit easier. So once that dried, another 2 hours, I added my 2 coats of epoxy. Each one was about 20 milliliters. So now I'm in Silhouette Studio. I want to show you how I put together the peekaboo for the sunflower design here. So I measured my cup from top to bottom and then all the way around, and I created a shape in Silhouette Studio with those same dimensions. So mine was about 6 1/4 inches tall and a little more than 11 inches wide. So I've got that shape in there, and I brought in my sunflower SVG. I did draw this a long time ago. I will put this file up in my digital shop on Etsy. I've gotten a lot of questions about that. So once I've got it in Silhouette Studio, I made an offset of it, I think it was 0.013. And then I welded the offset and the regular file together just to make the lines a little bit thicker. And then what I did was make a duplicate, and when you highlight the duplicate and right click in Silhouette Studio and hit release compound path, it'll take away all of your cut lines. It's just like contouring in Cricut Design Space. So once I did that, I welded all my shapes together, so now I just have one solid sunflower shape. And as you can see there, I've got the regular sunflower file and that welded solid shape layered. And now I'm going to duplicate those and kind of arrange them on this shape that I've got for my tumbler, just to make sure they're sized properly, distributed evenly, and all of that stuff. I did make the middle sunflower a little bit larger because that's going to be our like main focal point. And then I moved all of the outlines to the side. We'll cut those out later. And now what I'm going to do is a little trick I learned. All of this sunflower that is hanging over the edge of our template here, we want to get rid of. So I'm going to create a rectangle shape layer that on top of the area that I want to like slice out. And then I'm going to select the rectangle and then the two shapes that are overlapping. And then in the modify panel in Silhouette Studio, I'll go in and hit subtract all. And that's going to get rid of anything that is behind that top shape. So I've got the rectangle covering up the entire area of the sunflower I want to slice out, and then it just gets rid of it. So that's essentially the same function as slice in Cricut Design Space. Once I've got that done, I'm going to highlight the entire thing and then make compound path. So that's going to take out all of those sunflower shapes that I had in there. So you would just slice out your shapes if you're using Design Space. To cut this out, I'm going to use my same cut settings that I always do. I've got a blade depth of 2, force of 16, and speed at 6. I just put this together as a custom setting in Silhouette Studio, but I cut my stencil or regular pattern vinyl all in the same settings, these right here. So once I have that cut out, I'm back to my cup. I'm going to clean up my top rim. First, taking my X-Acto knife and running it along the top rim of my cup to get rid of any epoxy that's up there. And then I'm taking an 80 grit sanding block and sanding down the top rim really well. And once I'm done with that, I'll go in with a 180 to buff any of those lines out. And then once I'm done sanding my entire cup, I'll wash it with some dish soap and water. And now I'm ready to go in with my stencil. So I'm using this patterned vinyl sheet from Gracefully Created. It's a beautiful like watercolor sunflower pattern. I love it. And I'm going to weed out all of my sunflower outlines. I'm saving them. I'm just putting them on parchment paper. I figured I could use them for something down the line. So I'm going to apply some transfer tape to this pattern vinyl image and then apply it the same way I would if there wasn't any transfer tape there really. I'm cutting off a little bit of the backing on one side, and then I'm cutting the edge, any excess of the bottom edge, because I want to have this come up just a little bit onto the side of the cup so we don't have to deal with pulling anything under that bottom rim. Typically I wouldn't do it this way. I usually like to have a seamless finish from the side of the cup all the way down to the bottom, but I felt like in this case it was gonna look okay. So I'm applying the vinyl here, as you can see, just making sure everything's going to line up straight, and then I'm going to very carefully just push the backing away from the vinyl and push the vinyl onto the cup. I'm using my vinyl scraper tool from Craft Haven to get everything lying down straight. It was a little bit difficult with these big like holes in the vinyl to get everything straight, but it went okay. This cup is pretty small, so it went pretty quickly. Before you line up the one edge, make sure that you remove the transfer tape from your other edge so you don't layer the vinyl on top of your transfer tape. And then carefully remove the rest of your transfer tape. I didn't really have an edge because I measured this, or a seam. I didn't cut off any excess, I just let it be. So then I put a brand new blade in my craft knife, which makes this process a whole lot easier. I'm going to trim off all of that excess vinyl up from the top rim. When I cut the template out, I did give myself a little bit of an excess vinyl allowance here just so I could cut this off and make sure that it was flush. So I left about 1/4 of an inch up at the top there. So that's what I'm trimming off now. And I'm going to also go in with my knife at a 45-degree angle like I always do, cut off any of that excess there. And now I'm ready to go in with my sunflower outlines. For these outlines, I'm using vinyl from TeckWrap Craft. You guys know I absolutely love TeckWrap Craft vinyl. And for these outlines, I'm going to use their new matte vinyl series. So I cut out the thick sunflower outlines that we put together in Silhouette Studio. Here's a little weeding action for you. It does take a long time to weed these, but watching it in like time-lapse version is very satisfying. So now that I've got them all weeded, I'm going to take the same piece of transfer tape I used for my pattern vinyl and start to apply these to their corresponding sunflower cutout on our cup. I'll be honest, this did take me a very long time, just trying to figure out which petals lined up where and how everything kind of fit into each shape. So I would recommend either laying them out when you cut them according to where they go on your cup or something, because it took me way too long trying to figure out which flower went where and which petals lined up where. But once I had it figured out, I did use the parchment paper method to make sure everything was lined up correctly. And then I just went in and applied each flower to its corresponding stencil or cutout shape. This process itself took me probably between 20 and 30 minutes. Like I said, it wasn't a super quick process, but I think it was well worth it to have these outlines in there. They really bring the sunflowers to life. So I'm going to finish up applying these to the rest of my cup, and then we will move on to our next step. Okay, so once I've got all my outlines applied, I'm going to spray seal them with clear gloss spray from Rust-Oleum and then go in with another coat of epoxy. This coat was about 15 milliliters, just applying it evenly all over the cup, making sure I hit it really well with my torch to pop any bubbles. And then I'm going to let this cure for 6 to 8 hours before I move on to my decal. For my decal, I'm going to use some more vinyl from TeckWrap Craft. I did create this SVG. It is available in my digital shop on Etsy, and it does come with the offset. So for the offset, I'm using another matte color. This one is kind of peachy. And then for the regular decal on top, I'm using their glossy series in this really pretty kind of dark olive green. And I'm going to layer those before I put them on the cup. Typically, I would put the offset on the cup first and then go in with the on top decal, but I figured I'm going to layer them first. So there's the vinyl. It's really, really beautiful. That glossy vinyl, I know I had some problems weeding it before, but it weeded beautifully this time. It was so easy to use. So now I'm going to apply it onto the cup. And I decided to put it where the seam was just to kind of distract from the seam a little bit. I don't know if I would do it that way again, but anyway, it's done now. So I'm going to now go in with my final coats of epoxy. I did 2 final coats of about 10 milliliters a piece, and once they were cured, our cup is all finished. So here is the final result. I really like how this turned out. I love sunflowers. I'm getting very into them lately. I just like how they're a positive reminder to keep growing, keep going, and always face the sun. So I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button down below. And if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of my new videos. I upload brand new Tumbler tutorials every single week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, love you. Bye.
I've got a little bit. I got a little. Gotta check out that.